Welcome, foolish mortals.
Hi everybody, welcome to my paranormal vlogs and happy Halloween. It's fall season and before I start you might hear meowing. My cats are playing and they probably want to come into my video room, but I'm probably not gonna, but they'll probably make a lot of noise, so bear with me. Okay, so today I have another spooktacular video for you. And what I have for you is some more pictures in water scrying. Now, it's not really water scrying, but I call it water scrying. It's a form of water scrying. I'm not looking at futures and all that. I'm looking at spirits, interdimensional beings, and other entities in water, because water, much like a mirror, is a portal. We learn how to use those the same way. Now you can access portals through mirrors or you can do it via water. And I do it water. Mirrors are a little bit iffy. You tend to get a lot of negative things coming out of mirrors. But it's not to say that you wouldn't get a positive one. It's just you've got to know how to navigate whatever you feel more comfortable with, what resonates with you. I prefer the water method. And in case you haven't seen any of my paranormal videos, first I want to say welcome to my new subscribers. I hope you'll stick around. And to those just checking out my video for the very first time, have a look around my channel. I have a variety of different playlists that you might be interested in. So if you haven't seen all my episodes of Paranormal Vlogs, when you're done with this one, go to the beginning and come right ahead. Now, as usual, I always tell you that my first 3 videos of the paranormal didn't really come out clear because YouTube took away my ability to get HD because I'm not monetized, although sometimes they show ads. I only get SD, and in my first 3 videos I didn't have my lighting and I didn't have my new cam, and I kept it in the dark because I had spooky Halloween candles and decorations, as most of you might remember from when I lived in my apartment. So now I'm in my house and I have a backdrop and all that other stuff. Some of you might remember my old videos with my spooky backdrops, and you might remember my old videos in my apartment, and so if you do, you'll see them, but you can still hear me. I was a little goofy and silly, but that's the way I am anyway. A little uncomfortable sharing my paranormal experiences because all these years I've kept it to myself, and I only shared it with those that were close to me, that knew me, that grew up with me, like my family who knew, and good friends. And I didn't just go to the average person and say, hey, you want to know what? So I kind of kept that all to myself. So this was the first time I felt comfortable sharing it with the world. And now I don't really care what anyone thinks. I'm not trying to convince you. If you don't believe it, that's fine. I don't care either way whether you believe it or not. Like I said, I'm not trying to convince anybody. I don't make any money off of this channel. I'm not monetized. I know there's a lot of people that do these paranormal vlogs, and they usually were these makeup gurus, or they did other channels, and they're these YouTubers that were big, and they're just trying to, and I can tell they're full of baloney, they're fake, they're like, my house is haunted, I have a ghost. And I know they're full of crap because you could just tell. It was the in thing to do a while back. Now, I never even knew there was any paranormal vlogs till I said, oh, I'll make something called paranormal vlogs. Then I noticed there was all these what they call influencers, but they're just YouTube people with big channels that are usually bought known. So, or they just got big for what reasons, I don't even know. But you can tell they're full of baloney and they're staged and all this other stuff. But they make lots of money off the channel. I make 0. So this isn't one of those. I'm not one of those type of people. I don't stage anything. In my paranormal vlogs, if you're not familiar, I do share my experiences. I talk about them. Try to give you a nice spooky atmosphere, nice backgrounds, my fog. I have spooky candles, and I have a Halloween special from like 2 years ago, and I just show you spirits and interdimensional beings and other entities I catch in water, along with clips of conversations. So it would be like little EVPs, but not everybody can hear them, but you do have to wear headphones and earbuds. And yeah, so I don't put the whole conversation. A lot of it is not for public use. I always ask them if I am allowed to share this, if they don't mind if I share this, that I'm going to share this, and they usually let me know. So I only share certain clips of what I'm allowed to share and what I feel comfortable sharing. They tell me a lot of things that some of you may not know and may not agree upon, and I don't feel comfortable sharing that on this platform. The channel is very positive. I try to keep it positive, and I try to keep it fun. I'm not all serious like this happened and look at this. Like, I know some paranormal people are so serious, and I'm not a serious person. I like to laugh. I like to be goofy. Yes, I can be serious, but why not have some fun? And it makes you feel more comfortable around the paranormal. I've noticed that some people don't feel comfortable, so if I add a little fun to it, it doesn't hurt. Now, I might have to let my cat in because he's meowing up a storm. So this, so Halloween's coming. It's coming in a few, like a week. So I just wanted to do my last Happy Halloween video. Now I was going to get all decked out in my Halloween wig, and I was going to wear my Halloween costume, and I was trying to have a little more fun with it. Unfortunately, hold on, I have to let my cat in. So my cat's here. Do you want to see him? Yeah. Yes. He escaped out of the house twice. He's an indoor only. I found him as a stray outside my apartment when I lived in Florida, and he basically camped out in front of my little back porch until I brought him in the house, and then he's been my cat ever since. Right, Rudy? He's a good boy, but he is totally attached to me. Oops, my hair. He's sitting on it. So, okay. So, oh, before I forget, you see these moon and star earrings with the matching choker necklace? I have a jewelry tutorial on my jewelry tutorial playlist. So if you want to know how to make it and want to know how I made this, go ahead and check it out on my jewelry tutorial playlist. It is, what's on your foot? What's that? It's my second playlist on my channel. So this is Rudy. He's gonna hang out. Hey everybody. So it's my Happy Halloween special. It could have been more fancy if these guys would have let me have a moment. I'm always so busy these days. It used to be easier for me to get on camera and do videos, but now it seems, you know, every minute somebody wants something from me. The cats, my husband, my outside cat magic that I'm trying to get inside. And so by the time I get on here, I'm all frazzled, and I do a quick one. Because then everybody wants lunch or dinner, and I don't know, it seemed easier a year or two ago. So anyway, I'm going to finish with this big baby on me. So he likes my nails. And he's purring. He's a big old baby, aren't you? Yeah, he likes that. Okay, so today I have for you a few spirits, entities, and interdimensional beings in water. I'm also going to add towards the end some of my best ones. Now, it's important to note that they all don't come out clear. Some of them come out super clear, and some of them come out a little raised over the pot that I use. And episode 6 and episode 12 of my paranormal vlogs, I show you what I use, I tell you how to use it. They're both basically tutorials. On episode 12, I show you me doing it and how I do it, and then some pictures towards the end. In episode 6, I show you what I use, I tell you how I use it, and the protocols you want to follow while doing that. So you can try this at home. I have yet to hear from any of you that have tried this. Usually some people don't believe you can get it, or they call it that, whatever it is when your eyes make faces out of wood grain or whatever, whatever, it starts with a P. But it isn't that. It's truly faces. And if you look at some of my past paranormal vlogs where I show you pictures of entities, spirits, and interdimensional beings and water scrying, then you will see that they have features. No, it's not me. I don't have a bunch of people standing by to stand over the pot and get their reflection. I'm telling you, if you don't believe me, that's fine, but go ahead and try it yourself, and then you'll be a believer. But you should watch episodes 6 and 12, because if you take them and you don't know what you're doing, you may do it wrong, and you may get the pictures and not, at first sight, may not think you see anything, but there's something right there. And I explain how that happens. I first get into, so what I want to tell you first of all is I developed something new. Typically, I just take pictures. Now, you can use your phone or a camera, but you can have flash. And what I noticed while taking pictures is that in between my snapping of the pictures, I see faces that are missing because it's in between. So I experimented and I took short videos. You don't want to take really long 5-10 minute videos. You want to take like a minute or 2-3 minute video, because what you're going to have to do, and it's a little painstaking, but what you're going to have to do once you take these short videos while moving, now you need motion in the water, okay? So I tell you about it and I show you how I do it in episodes 6 and 12. That's why I constantly tell you, watch the full video of episodes 6 and 12. If you want to do this, or if you want to try this at home for yourself, or if you're a skeptic and don't believe what I'm showing you, I want you to try it and put your money where your mouth is. Because before you say anything that's bull, that's not how you do it yourself and see for yourself, but know what you're looking for and do it correctly. And in order to do that, you need to watch the full episodes of episodes 6 and 12 of my paranormal vlogs, okay? So with that, there's a new thing. So you take the short videos, and then what I do is, for the short videos, I take the slider. Now I have VLC video where I can take a snapshot of them. If you don't have that, you should have some kind of thing that you could take a snapshot of your video, okay? Of your video stills, okay? So what you do is, I have VLC, I open up my video, I take the slider, and I go very slow, frame by frame. I go over it about 1, 2, maybe even 3 times. I might take a week or a couple of days, and then I'll go over it again. But you have to take the slider and go very slow. Don't stick it on and think you can see something. Have it on the off, where the little triangle, keep it off, and just take the slider for the video and slide it yourself, frame by frame by frame by frame. And there you will see a bunch, and I've caught a bunch that way. In my last interdimensional being, entity, and spirit water scrying, I did that and I showed you the pictures. I've done 2 so far of videos showing you this. So if you haven't seen them, go check it out. If you haven't seen any of my paranormal vlogs, please check it out from the beginning, because I explain everything there. And again, 6 and 12 episodes. So what I do is, once I do that, now I go through them a few times. It's painstaking because you have to take the slider and you do have to go frame by frame by frame. And when you see something, take a snapshot, save all those, and then see, this is what I do. Once I do all that and I got the snapshots, I put it in a folder, then I go through all the pictures. You have to go through the pictures a few times because you may not see it, and it's right there. So sometimes it takes me a week, and I sit on them for a couple of weeks, even a month, and then I'm like, oh my God, why didn't I see that? So you do have to not delete your pictures immediately. because before you know it, they materialize. I don't know why that is, it just is. So I've already taken, I think I had 2 sessions already that I've taken some pictures and videos and I've gotten some spirits. Now some don't come out as clear as others. They're really faded, but you can see that they're there. Now I don't really use those in the video because I want you to be able to see it. So now I don't mess with it and do any photoshopping. The only thing I do is I take some of the pictures. Now when I look at the pictures, I make a folder saying to be edited. Okay, what I mean by editing is I either make them, if they're too light, I make them darker or sharper and clearer so you can see them. Then I might outline where they are, and I may or may not put arrows and text saying eye, nose, so you know what you're looking at in case you don't see it at first glance. But I try to show you the original, then the sharpened and clarified, then brighter one, and then the ones with the outlines and texts. Now some I just put it there because it's pretty clear and I don't need to do anything. So I make a folder when it's all done for finished. And then what I do is I do another session of taking pictures. So I have 2 sessions I took. I still have to go through them, still have to edit them with the circles and the text so that you can see it. So I want to get it up before Halloween so it's there. I still have another batch I want to take, but I got to be relaxed when I do it. If I'm rushed, I don't get as many and they don't come out as clear because it's important to know you don't have to do this at night when the moon is full or the strike of midnight. I can do this any time of the day or night. I can do this when the sun is shining bright, which is best because good spirits, entities, and interdimensional beings don't feed off of you. Okay? They don't need your energy. Only negative and evil ones do that. Okay? Really good spirits, entities, and interdimensional beings feed off the sun. The sun has enough energy, and I get better communication when I'm communicating, and I get better pictures when it's a beautiful sunny day and it's early. So keep that in your mind when you're doing this or doing any spirit communication whatsoever. Now, it's important to note, I don't ask for anything negative or evil. I specify they're not allowed to communicate with me or contact me in any way, shape, or form. I do ask for protection. I do only ask for what I want. So I ask for only good and positive spirits, good and positive entities, and good and positive interdimensional beings. It's very important you do that. See, this is why I don't like Ouija boards, because most people don't know what they're doing. And they think it's a little game for kids, and it's really not. Yes, Rudy. So they open a portal when you're talking to this, and then they never close it. A lot of people forget to close it by saying goodbye or whatever, and they're not specific who they're asking, so you can get anything from the other dimension speaking to you, okay? And usually there's a certain demon that is, I guess, controller of the Ouija board. So if you're not specific and you don't know what you're doing, you don't take certain precautions and you don't follow the correct protocols and you're just doing it, you think it's fun, you're having some drinks with your friends and you're being all goofy and silly and you're disrespectful and you don't say goodbye and you don't sage and you don't do anything to protect yourself or to be specific on who you're speaking with, you're going to let in bad things, and then those bad things will attach to you. That's why I say it's very important that you just stay away from the Ouija board. But if you're going to communicate and do it the way I do, be sure that you follow the protocols. That's why I say watch episodes 6 and 12. Now I think someone's trying to communicate because my ear just went ee. That means a portal is open, so they're listening. That's the way it is, because when you're speaking, even when you like say your prayers, you're basically opening up a portal, okay? And basically when you speak, everything here is you. When you're speaking to a past loved one, whether it be a human or a pet, guess what? Everything here is you. And I do mean everything, everywhere. So they have no problem seeing and hearing us. Now, unfortunately, one of my abilities isn't seeing. Now, I have been able to see certain things in the past. But when I ask them, I spent one day, and I've talked about this, trying to see them. I was having conversations for hours with a variety of different spirits, and one of them was my guide. I'm like, he was trying to help me see, and he's like, well, I'm sitting over here in this chair. I'm over here by the table. I'm like, I don't see you, and I was getting kind of frustrated. So he's like, don't worry about it. Calm down. Don't worry about it. It's okay. It'll come. And I'm like, when? Why can't I see you? He said, I don't think you're ready for that ability. When you're ready for that ability, then it'll be there. Then I'll be able to see them. So they know better than me. Apparently I wasn't ready to see them. Why? I don't know why, but they know why. So, which is probably okay. So if you watch my paranormal vlogs, and those of you who've watched it know the stories that I told you, one of them is about whispering dolls. Now, before I go any further, I want to let you know that stick around, because towards the end I have, like I said, some of the pictures I caught in water scrying. And like I said, I'm doing another episode in those pictures I'm doing another session of taking pictures of water, and it'll all be in this video, okay? So I'm doing this part first, the intro, and then, so it'll be a little longer, but this is a Halloween special. So I wanted spooky candles, but I have my skull and other things. So now, the dolls. I talk about dolls. It's whispering dolls. Now, most of you've seen that episode. Those of you who have not, it's the whispering dolls. Anybody that knows, I had dolls when I was younger, obviously. I don't like dolls. Now, what happens is other entities and spirits, and some mostly negative ones, but some good ones, but a lot of negative ones, love to inhabit the dolls because they're closest to humans. As we all know, the evil ones wish they were human, they're jealous of us, they want to be human, and they look for a human form. Now, like I said, not all evil and negative, some good ones that just can't accept the fact they're not alive anymore and don't have a human body, and they want a human body or human form, so dolls are the next best thing. Our dolls are the next best thing, Barbie dolls included, anything with a human form. Now, stuffed animals, not so much. I'm sure there's a few out there, but I never had that problem with stuffed animals. I had that problem with stuffed animals, it was always my dolls. What would happen with the dolls is that at night, they would, now I slept with the nightlight on when I was little because growing up paranormal, naturally a lot of weird things, and I didn't understand it, I didn't know what was happening, and I was scared. But I spent years and years trying to understand, trying to find out, and asking questions, and now I'm not afraid. Because fear gives them power. If you don't fear, you have all the power. Humans are very powerful. That's why they're jealous of us. They don't have the power we do. They like to make you think in movies and shows and literature that they are more powerful and that you need to be frightened. But they're jealous and afraid of us because we are the ones that are more powerful. Keep your power. Another thing is, so the dolls, so they like to inhabit dolls, and at night I would see them very slowly moving. So what you need is like a time lapse, you know how you do the time lapse, like very slow, you speed up to see. So now you have a camera with some lighting, and at night I could see them because I had my night light on, and I'd lay there and I'd hear them going, you know, like a low whisper. And I didn't know what they were saying, okay? So now maybe because I'm clairaudient, I can hear them whisper, but I still couldn't make out what they were saying. But I know that other people have heard them. I used to get made fun of as a little kid until, and I'll tell you about that in a minute, but I've also told you more about it in those episodes, so you might want to watch that episode of the Whispering Dolls. But what happened was, they do move very slowly. They move their head, they move their face, they move their mouth, they move the eyes, and you can see it. And you'd have to look, but it's very slow. So if you do videotape, and I rest assured, no matter what household you're in, how many dolls, how positive, how good, how everything, It happens. That's why I don't allow any dolls in my house. I don't mind stuffed animals. There's no dolls. I got rid of all my dolls when I was a child. I kept my stuffed animals. So I want to explain to you about that. So you might want to try that. If you got a bunch of dolls, group them together, sit them all in one pile at night, in a separate room, whatever. Put a nice camera, whether it be a night vision camera or a camera with a little bit of lighting in the room. Don't make it totally bright, okay? And make sure there's sound recorded by them, and do it. Go ahead. You might have to do it a few times, and it might take a long time, and you want to speed up the frames. Most of you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so I guarantee you'll get something. So this used to happen to me, and I get into that story, and nobody believed me. I was a kid. They made fun of me. They laughed, because as I said, growing up paranormal in the 70s when I was a little kid, internet, there wasn't all these ghost hunters, which most of these ghost hunter shows are full of baloney. They don't catch anything, and then they're exaggerating, and so I take those with a grain of salt, because it's always bad, or they always run. It's like you're doing this, but then you're afraid and you run. It's laughable, but they're entertaining, so I guess that's it. So I would tell people this, and they didn't believe me. So one time, my sisters are all older than me. I have 3 older sisters, and one of my sister's boyfriends was at the house. They were drinking and partying. So my mother didn't want him driving home, said, you stay in her room. Of course, the youngest always has to give up their room. And I slept in the upstairs room. I had 5 floors in my house, so a lot of rooms to choose from. But I liked my room because I felt the safest. It was the smallest room in the house, and that's what I wanted. All the other rooms were pretty big, so I slept up there with my sister, and he got my room. And I remember I'm like, watch out for the dolls. And I remember he was like, okay, laughing at me. And I'm like, I'm telling you, it's real. So I remember that I yelled that out before I went upstairs with my sister, and he was drunk, so he laughed. Well, come morning time, I find him sleeping on the couch downstairs in the little room off the kitchen, because we had a fancy, because my parents are from Italy, and we had antiques and all fancy stuff from Italy, so the fancy living room, but he was in the little family room off the kitchen on that couch sleeping. And we're like, why were you on there? He's like, you know what? Your sister's not lying. I'm not going to make fun of you anymore. He's like, I saw it. Those dolls move and they whisper. And he goes, I'm not sleeping in her room anymore. And then, and everybody's laughing. Oh, you were drunk. He's like, no. So he saw them, and he wouldn't sleep in my room anymore. He would sleep downstairs on the couch if he stayed over. Off of here, I've got lunch to make, things to do, and I just wanted to say hello and happy Halloween. And like I said, there's going to be pictures, so don't go anywhere. There's tons of water scrying pictures coming up. I hope you're ready for a spooktacular video. This is quite long, but I had a lot to add. It is a Halloween special. So the pictures you're seeing are my house with Halloween decorations, and I couldn't go too crazy, things cost money and stuff, but I did what I could. And then a short video that my husband made of the Halloween decorations outside. So we do have some lights at night. The skull blinks. I have a pumpkin in my bedroom window. There's some lights under the foyer, and it's, it's pretty and fun, and there's just me being goofy. So I hope you enjoy all the pictures I show you and this short video.
Here's the Halloween decorations that my wife wanted. complete with little spiders and everything everywhere. And that's it.
Okay, so over here you can see a face, his teeth, his nose, his eyes. It looks like the same entity, interdimensional being that waved to me once before and he had a ring on. Over here you can see a face. You can see his eyes, his nose, not so much his mouth, but you can definitely see his eyes. I've circled it. Now here is a pair of hands to the right, and to the left it's a face forming, but it's not too clear. But you can't mistake those small hands. Over here it's that other entity. See the other entity with his mouth closed is similar with some hands to the right. And that's the same picture, but it formed. Okay, this is a big face. See his eyes, his nose sticking out, his mouth? I'll show him later. But look at this face. You can see his ears, his eyes, his eyebrows, his nose, his teeth by his mouth. And you can see his eyeballs, more to the right, but a little bit to the left, you can see the eyeballs, see? Okay, this is actually a boy with his dog. Now, you see the dog to the right and the boy to the left? His head's tilted, you can see his ear, his eye, his eyebrow, and you can see he has a smile with his teeth. It's a little bit white. Can you see that? Okay. Over here, it was hard to make out, but it's all like some kind of a rabbit or interdimensional being animal. You can see the face, it's smiling with some long ears and the arms and the legs and possibly a tail sticking up. I'm not sure what it is. But over here, my cat Butterball. I asked Butterball to come in as clear as he can. He was a fluffy yellow cat, and I made it sharper and brighter. See, you can even see the whiskers. Sorry, when you zoom in, it kind of fades, but I'll show this again with a picture of my cat Butterball. There he is again. You can see his whiskers, his eyes, his ears. You can see his right ear better than his left, but you know, they come in as good as they can. And here you can see a face, you can see the eyes, the nose, not the mouth so much, but there it is. I've circled it so you can get a better view. Here is a face, but with like another face forming on the top, or maybe his, sometimes they have a problem. It was three-dimensional. You can see the ears, the eyes, the nose. Here is two faces, but you can see the face to the right better. See it? Now sometimes they're in the early stage of forming. Some can come out better than others. This is a face forming with a skull face to the lower right in green. See the outline in green is like a skull type face. And that's another face. Okay, here's a face. You can see the eyes, the nose, and the mouth. It's kind of 3D-ish. You can see the holes in the nose and everything. Alright, here's a woman's face. Her eyes are open. You can see her eyebrows, her eyes, her nose, a faint mouth, and you can see the hair. Can you see it? It's a little to the left of the pot, and I'll show this picture again later. I do repeat some of them only because I didn't remember what pictures I put in, because I voice over later. But you can see her eyebrows, her eyes are open. Here's another face, something with some kind of kerchief or something over the head, and you can see the eyes and the nose and a very faint mouth. Here is the woman. This is a different woman with some kind of praying hands to the right. You could see her eyes, eyebrows, nose. It could possibly be the same woman from before, just trying to come in clearer, because I do ask them. Now here's like a skull face. I think it was forming, but it's smiling, and you can see the teeth. You can see the lips, you can see the eyes and the nose. I've circled it for you. See it smiling with the teeth. And the reason why they show their teeth, probably because I've asked them, smile so we see your teeth. So here's that big face again, where the nose is 3D. You see the eyes, the eyebrows, the nose, and the big smile on the mouth. Remember, some of these are interdimensional beings, and they're not going to look like people. And they're other entities. They have similarities, but not everybody. Alright. There's the face. You can see the two eyes, the nose. But the mouth is very faint. Can you see it? Can't miss his eyes because you can see the eyeballs. Here it is again. Circle. See the eyes? Okay, so here was something to the left, but these are small hands. You can see the fingers and everything. You see that? They're kind of like clapping. Alright, here is a face to the side. I'll be showing this picture again, but you can see the eyes, the nose, and the mouth to the right-hand side. See, I circled it for you. It's kind of long and curved, but they come in the best they can. Okay, here's that double head I told you about before that I showed you. It looks like another head's forming, but it could be his trying to come in and make it 3D, because I did ask them if they can kind of pop out of the pot for me. They do that often if you've seen my past paranormal vlogs. Here's another with two faces, one in the center, kind of an old man with eyes, nose, mouth, a bit of a mustache and beard and hair. And in the red arrow you can see another face forming. The green arrow is the older man. You can see the eyes, the nose, the mouth, the beard. Okay, here's a long face. The green arrows are his eyes, the red is his teeth, his smiling mouth, and the yellow is his nose. Now whether this is I don't think it's a regular person. It could be an interdimensional being, but there it is. You can definitely see the right eye better than the left. Okay, here is a face. Now it looks like there's some kind of, maybe one of those helmets, you know, where you, in the medieval times where you put the helmet down. Or it could be some kind of a headscarf, but you can see fingers to the left, like their hand to the left. But here it is again, you can see the eyes, the nose, the mouth, and then either it's a helmet or some kind of head dressing scarf or what have you on top, with hands or something to the left. So here it is again, circle. Okay, here is two faces. You can see one in the center, sort of, and then one to the right with glasses and a mustache. Here's that other face with the teeth again, and the nose and the eyes. Like, here it is again. Sometimes I put them in again. These are all my recent ones that I've done the past few days. Here is a face. You can see the eyes, nose, and mouth. I will zoom in for you. Sometimes they don't come straight in. You have to turn the pot in order to see them. They come in as they come in. But you can see the eyes, the nose, and the mouth. And here's a close-up. Some are, like I said, better than others. Okay, here's a face. He kind of looks like Bela Lugosi. He has a widow's peak hairline, a big nose, his big mouth, and his eyes, and his eyebrows. I'll get back to him later. Here's another face. He's kind of leaning to the left. You can see his eyes, his eyebrows, his nose, and his mouth. See it? there he is. I circled it for you in case you're having issues seeing it. Sometimes they come in as faint as they can, but they try the best they can. And over here it's a face, it's to the lower left. You can see the eyes and the nose and the mouth. I will circle it for you. There it is, circled. Okay, here's that face to the right again that I showed you earlier. You can clearly see the eyes, nose, and mouth, and on here is a bigger face, the eyes, nose, and mouth. Sometimes they can come out like they're popping out of the pot. And here's that Bela Lugosi face with the widow's peak hairline. He's kind of winking at you. See, the right eye is winking, his left one's open, his nose, his nostrils. Okay, here is another faces in a pot. And there's that one interdimensional being smiling with teeth. And over here, there is a face. It's very hard to see. There's a lot going on in there. You can see a man's eye to the left. See it? Over here, there's that woman again with the hands, the praying hands to the right that I showed earlier. See, her eyes are slightly open, her nose, her eyebrow, her hair. And then there's praying hands. Or something to the right. Can you see it? I know it's very faint, but they do what they can for me. So I hope you enjoyed those pictures. Those were my most recent pictures. There was a lot more in there, but honestly, it's very hard to go through them all. You end up getting a headache. You have to look. You have to make them clearer. Put a lot of arrows, and so I kind of rushed that to get it in for my Halloween special. But next you will be seeing some of the pictures that I took a while back. There's some of my first pictures and there's some of my best ones. Now, of course, to see all of them, because I've taken hundreds, you have to go look through all my paranormal vlogs. Now, the episodes I usually put spirits in water or real pictures of spirits, interdimensional beings, and other entities. So just look for those episodes. But if you haven't seen any of mine, please go ahead and look from the beginning. So here we go. This was, I see an angelic angel. He has long hair, a crown. His arm is holding a vase. Now other people see different things. There's an 1111 to the right. Some see an owl when they look at this, but that's not an owl. It's an angel. His hair is very long and flowing. He has a crown, he has a gown, and his arm and holding some kind of vase. Now this is an alien, interdimensional being. I made it clear. This is actually one of my very first pictures. He came in like this. This is the original. You could see his shoulders, his hands, and this I made it a little clearer and brighter. And he's looking up. See, he's looking up. You can see his shoulders, his hands to the bottom. And there he is. So, aliens are interdimensional beings. Okay? And no, he's not evil. I don't ask for anybody evil. This is my cat Spunky. You can see his stripes on his lower part of his body. This is kind of how I buried him. He was, curled up, and that's his tail. I had asked him to show himself, so unfortunately you can't see his face too good, but you could see his eyes, and they were closed. So this is a girl. These are one of my first pictures. Remember, these are my older pictures, so I went to the beginning. See her smiling, her hands waving. You could see her eyes, her eyebrows, her teeth. It looks a little large and wonky, but it's because it's in water. Sometimes they can't come out perfect, but she's smiling. I outlined it, labeled it. Some of you might remember seeing this picture, but it came out pretty good. She's happy and smiling. They usually smile and wave to me in most of my pictures if you're familiar. Here's another girl. She came in super clear, more like a photograph. You could see her eyes, her eyebrows, her nose. Her mouth is slightly open. You can only see part of it. That's like plasma in front of them. It enables them to materialize. So some of them have that, a bit of plasma by their face or next to them or around them. So this is my father. See his teeth? He had perfect straight white teeth. And it's like a photograph that I have of him with him smiling. That's his eyes, his eyebrows, his nose, his mouth. I made it brighter and circled it. I asked him to come and visit, take a picture, and he did. He's been gone a long time, so this is either a finger or a toe, and this is an eyeball with like a skull head. You can see the forehead back to the toe or finger. It has some kind of skin attached or something. Over here you can see the mouth to the bottom and the eye. I wanted to say happy Halloween. I hope you have a great Halloween, and I hope that you will check out all the rest of my episodes of Paranormal Vlogs if you haven't seen them. I hope you have a great day. I hope you have a great Halloween, and I hope you enjoy my spooktacular video. Don't go anywhere. Here come the spirits and entities and interdimensional beings. Happy Halloween.